Srimati Moksda Devi thereafter enjoyed a privileged position with her brothers and sisters-in-law as a special protege bequeathed to them by their mother. In the fullness of time, she was married to Sri Dipin Bihari Bhattacharya of Vidyakut. The quietly affluent atmosphere of her brother's household was not matched by her new home. Not that the circumstances were so different. In fact, they were not, but Sri Bipin Bihari turned out to be a householder who would have been better suited to the calling of a wandering minstrel. Vidyakut. It may be a fanciful thought, but it cannot but come to the mind that the transition from Sultanpur to Vidyakut is comparable to a going toward asceticism, a moving away from the hermitages to penetrate deeper into the forest for a life of renunciation and austerities. Because Sri Bipin Bihari was at heart an ascetic, a strong streak of otherworldliness in his mental makeup made it difficult for him to settle down to the business of steadily providing for his family. He had no talents for managing his household, and very soon his considerable inheritance began to show signs of his neglect. He spent his time in the usual pursuits of a devout Brahmin of his day. His mornings were given over to the performance of puja at the family shrine. His was a family of spiritual preceptors. Sometimes members of such families as were under their religious guidance came to receive initiations. If asked by his elder brothers, he would perform this rite for them. Along with his religious training, he had received secular schooling also. At one time after his marriage, he had been persuaded by one of his affluent nephews to work on his estates as an accountant. The nephew wanted an honest man he could rely upon. This arrangement, however, was short lived. Sri Bipin Bihari was too independent to take kindly to a form of service under another, albeit a respectable junior. Sri Bipin Bihari's mother, Srimati Tripura Sundari, had inherited some property in the village of Khyora in the same district. After a few years of his marriage, he came to Khyora with his wife to assume charge of this small inheritance. In due course, a girl was born to this couple. His mother was living in Khyora also. We do not know if he considered that he had provided for his wife and mother by settling them in Khyora, because he now left home for an unknown destination in order to become an ascetic. Srimati Moksda Devi was a true daughter of the house of Sri Ramakanta Bhattacharya. She accepted her husband's way of life not only without demur but with complete understanding. She was one of those rare personalities who exemplify all the gentler human virtues. Her utterly undemanding nature was tried to the utmost by her circumstances, but she never lost the serenity of her spirit or the dignity of her behavior. There was a bond of love and regard between the two women left on their own. Unfortunately for both of them, the little girl passed away before long, leaving them sad and lonely. Srimati Tripura Sundari got into the habit of walking to the well-known temple of Kali at nearby Kasbah to pray for her son's return. Some members of her family look it upon themselves to locate Sri Bipin Bihari in his place of retreat. They also persuaded him to return to Khyora. So after almost 3 years he returned home once more to take up the position of a householder. Now his mother again trekked to Kasbah to pray for a grandson. Strangely, at the time of uttering the prayer, she found herself saying a daughter instead of a son. In any case, she thought a child would help to anchor her son's restless spirit to his heart and home. A second daughter was born to Srimati Moksda Devi and Sri Vipin Bihari on April 30, 1896, who later became well known as Sri Ma Anandamayi. Brahmacharini Chandan, a third generation daughter of the house of Sri Ramakanta Bhattacharya of Sultanpur, had the privilege of listening to Sri Ma when she was answering some questions regarding the manner of her presence on earth, and was moved to think in terms of the Triveni Sangam, the holy confluence of the three rivers Ganges, Yamuna and Saraswati. The simile came to her mind especially because the third river Saraswati is said to symbolize Brahm Vidya, the highest knowledge. Moreover, The faithful believe that Saraswati is a mysterious transnatural presence at the Sangam because this river is not visible to the pilgrims now.